Hey, it's RC Addicts, and I'm going to do a review on the Atomics. I don't really know what they're made by, but they looked cool, so we had to get them.
Yep.
They do come with the Rockstar graphics, and they are the Metal Militia trucks, which are Brian Deegan.
Brian Deegan.
Yeah, mine's Brian Deegan too. Which they are the, what would you call it? The design. They are designed like the trucks and cars of Brian Deegan.
Well, this one. Yeah.
It's represented by Brian Deegan. So, short story about my car and his car. Since his car does have this
thing
higher tower than the original, well, the higher, since this car has the higher tower than the short course,
you can take this tower off.
Yeah.
And you can run the same hood as he's got on his car.
But so you can take this tower off and have buy another hood and put it on. But yeah, we do that. But how he got this hood? One day we were out driving. Well, me and him were out driving our cars, and it was in the winter time, and it was like the crappiest time of winter, where the roads are pretty much like the sides of the roads are ice and ice everywhere and rocks all over. And we were out there driving one day because we were bored and we didn't.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my Helion Invictus then.
Yeah.
The only car I had was my 10T4, which is not waterproof because the motor's not waterproof. But this car, and we do have the Dominus. We did have the Dominus before we got these, but the batteries were crap and they didn't run and they were burnt up and stuff. So we bought these cars, the 1/18, 1/16, whatever. We bought these cars, and we did have a race to see which car was faster. This car right there. Come on, it was a mile difference. But yeah, I did lose control because I hit some ice and I didn't have any traction, and I go plowing into a mound of ice and shatter the whole hood. Like, pretty much it was cracked in half, just right on the front. So we did tape it, as you can see, like where all the dirt is and sand.
Yeah.
Where all the dirt is, and it's not really coming off where I rub. That's where the tape is. But, so, I gave it to him for his car, because with this car, with this hood, you can't really do jumps because it's so low, and you can't really go up hills because of it's so low. So, we didn't figure it out until later, so we had no idea we could do that. We'll take off the back tower. So, we learned that later on, so I gave him the hood that we've been talking about. And, yeah. These cars really haven't been great to us. They've been okay.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't broke any A-arms or anything, like a bumper. We haven't busted a bumper. Shocks are still good. Well, mine is, his isn't. But everything is still good except for my motor. The motors in these things burn up so easy. Like, didn't you just buy that? No, that's because of the battery. But mine...
No, this was from
the
motor. Because I had an
this is the stock motor, and we've just been keeping it for who knows. But this is the stock motor, and it has burnt up.
This is the original motor. This is the Animus motor.
Yes, the Animus Truggy.
Since they didn't have an atomic motor, I just bought the Animus motor. Yeah. And it still works.
But you gotta... Since it came with like plugs like this, you've had to cut the plugs off and then solder it and then try to wedge it in there, and yeah. It's just a pain in the butt because our local hobby shop couldn't get them in. Yeah, losers. But they've been okay trucks except for the motor. The motors were crap.
Yeah. And
I would suggest like putting something different in them, like a Losi Insane motor or something a little bigger. And yeah. It does come with a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, radio, controller, whatever you guys call it. Not really sure. There's a whole bunch of different terms for it. But yeah, the actual wheel, the steering on this is rubber. So I think that's pretty cool. I might put it on one of my other remotes, like the Invictus remote. I might put it on this one since I'm not really a big fan of the foam ones because they slide off like and rubbing against it. And yeah, I think I might just put this one on, and yeah. Oops, so long for that hood. But yeah, and with the car, I would suggest, along with the motor, getting a new motor. I suggest putting different shock oil in them because, I don't know what it comes with. Like, I don't know, but like 75 or something like that would be good. So yeah, they do come with a 1,000 milliamp 6-cell battery, 7.2 volt, and yeah, it is made by Venom. The battery is, so I assume the car is made by Venom, but I'm not sure. And they do make a 1/8 scale, not a 1/10.
Right, yeah.
Which I find very weird. But who knows, it's atomic. So, yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much clears it.
And it does come with, oh yeah, the servo and the steering are all one piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And yeah, I also think what's interesting about the thing that holds the batteries, so like you put the batteries in, then you do not have to have 2 clips.
It only takes one.
It only takes one because you slide this part in, then you just use that one. So, yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers it for the
Invictus.
Atomic. So yeah, see you next time. This is RC Addicts. Peace.